The greatest of all time, the never seen 17, exposing Triple H for the last time with all of us, John Cena! You know what I'm saying? Your boy John Cena, the GOAT in my opinion, has finally called out triple fraud. Okay, we have to discuss this because at the end of the day, news has gone down. We have heard a lot of different reports, and on top of that, John Cena's father says at the moment that The Rock bowed out of the storyline is the moment that things stopped working with Cena's retirement tour. We'll talk about that in a second, but the fact is, we have to acknowledge that Jonathan Cena is finally speaking up about this garbage retirement tour. I made an entire video a couple days ago explaining why this retirement tour has been a disaster and why Triple H has ruined it basically at every corner. We can try and blame The Rock and TKO all we want, but The Rock was simply brought in to sell tickets and drive viewership because the leading up to Mania 41 and to Elimination Chamber, the ticket sales were lower, like in comparison to Mania 40, and on top of that, the viewership was down. So obviously you had to bring in your biggest draw in order to drive viewership and do something, erratic, and they had The Rock come in, they did the heel turn, and quite frankly, after he bowed out of the storyline, Triple H knew he was going to bow out of the storyline, so it was on the creative team and Triple Fraud to book a good heel run and retirement run for John Cena. And did they do that, yes or no? No. The Rock left in March. It's now September, and fans are still complaining about the retirement tour. So this is not The Rock's fault. I don't want to hear that anymore. We need to stop doing this, okay? The Rock wanted John Cena to stay face and beat Cody as a heel champion working alongside The Rock, and that would have been awesome. But unfortunately, we have to now move forward with what's happening with whatever's left of John Cena's, retirement tour with 5 dates left, and this is what we got. John Cena went on Twitter yesterday and called out Triple H. This is during Raw, first off. This is the first tweet during Raw where he said Cena versus Styles. Thoughts on this? You know what I'm saying? Asking the fans basically, what are your thoughts on this? Obviously, the fans want that. We'd much rather see him fight a AJ Styles or even fight someone like a Dirty Dom, which I don't even like Dirty Dom, but it'll be a cool old school versus new school. I'm sure they could do a nice little fun promo on Raw or something and then fight in the main event of the show for the IC title, and Cena can finally win the one championship that he's never lost. You know what I'm saying? Or never won. Sorry, I'm gonna take my baton. I never lost. Yeah. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? That would be a pretty cool storyline to have at a Raw in Madison Square Garden or in Boston, his hometown. I think that would be really cool to have a program with him and Dom for one episode. However, outside of all of that, John Cena then tweeted yesterday saying that AJ Styles, he said that he doesn't pick his storylines, which remember, earlier this year, Triple H after SummerSlam said that John Cena picks his storylines, so Triple H lied, which I already made multiple videos as to why Triple H is a liar and he's been exposed numerous times, so that's not a discussion. But he basically says that he doesn't pick his opponents, but he wants what the fans want, and it's time to listen to the fans. And he adds Triple H and says, let's do what they want. Basically, let's do me versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. And now we officially have AJ Styles versus John Cena at Crown Jewel because Triple H was forced to bend the knee and finally do his job and actually book something creative that the fans want to see. Everyone who was talking about John Cena's retirement tour, man, it's not that bad, bro. The Brock Lesnar match at WrestlePalooza wasn't that bad, man. It's gonna be okay, guys. Watch. He's gonna beat him back. He's gonna get his get back at Crown Jewel. You see how fans have no idea what they're talking about in many scenarios? Because I told you guys after at WrestlePalooza, he ain't getting a get back. You know what I'm saying? This is a one-off, and apparently it's been confirmed that it's a one-off or something like that. You know what I'm saying? With recent reports, John Cena and Brock Lesnar were not slated to fight at Crown Jewel in a rematch. So fans were just saying words into the ether. They're just saying nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's just a bunch of absolute garbage. Oh, Cena's gonna get his get back. Y'all have no idea what y'all are talking about. The retirement tour has been botched. The WrestlePalooza match was an utter disaster. Okay, it's as simple as that. Everyone who tried to apologize for it, be an apologist for Brock Lesnar in that match and what happened with him and Cena, it was garbage, and it was a disaster, and it was a massive mistake, and that's why ESPN graded WrestlePalooza a C, okay? That's part of the reason. If ESPN, who's running the show, you know what I'm saying, they're broadcasting the show, and even they said it was mediocre at best, what do you think the actual quality was from the fans' perspective? You get what I'm saying? This show was a disaster. ESPN called them out. Many fans called them out. Most fans thought the show was absolute garbage, and rightfully so. And obviously, I think the show was a disaster. And because of all this stuff, because of Cena calling out, basically saying, hey, man, I need something for this retirement tour, bro. What is this? And he even posted, the little picture from the Tom Hanks movie from back in the day. I think it was, what was it called? Captain Phillips or something like that? The clip where the dude says, I'm the captain now. now. You know what I mean? That was pretty cool that Cena posted that, because now he's taking control of his retirement run. John Cena knows what quality is, and he knows that whatever happened with Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza was a disaster, and it's time to rewrite course with only 5 dates left and make the most out of the time we have left with Jonathan the GOAT Cena, okay? And it's as simple as that. We have to understand something. If John Cena, who is the ultimate good guy, the goody two-shoes, he's basically like Superman, you know what I'm saying, in real life to many people. You get what I mean? Like, he's the ultimate good guy, okay? John Cena literally had to sit on Twitter and actually tweet like an actual human being for once and actually talk about the disaster that was taking place with the booking of his retirement run. If you see that John Cena has to go out of character to do something like that, you know how he really feels about the heel run, is that he probably thinks it's absolute garbage and it's been a disaster so far. And so he's having to course correct and do it himself, because Triple H has absolutely lost, you know what I'm saying, any credibility with what he's doing. I'm just being honest with you. This is just a disaster at this point, man. Do you know how bad that something has to be booked for John Cena, who literally has said multiple times in his career that he does not pick his stories. He goes along with the flow, and you know what I'm saying, goes with the cards that he's been dealt. And he has to go out of his way to call out Triple H and make his own match for a crown jewel? Do you understand how bad the booking has to be and how upset John Cena has to be behind closed doors for this to happen? This is a wake-up call. This is a massive sign that people who are unhappy with Triple H and that are main event level talents, if they actually speak out publicly against this stuff, they will be able to have Triple H be forced to make changes. Triple H, let's say, for example, that Codarius Rodington goes out there and actually says on Twitter or on an Instagram post or whatever, and says that, hey, I want to fight Drew McIntyre again at Crown Jewel and have him rightfully win. Because remember, I reported on this a couple days ago. The post was that Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre had the idea for Randy Orton to come out there. It would lead to his eventual heel turn, and he would accidentally cost Cody the WWE Championship, and Drew McIntyre would win the belt. And unfortunately, we just had Cody Rhodes just retain in a very boring and underwhelming main event match that was honestly very bad and just, you know, disappointing if we're being real about it, okay? That was the idea that they had. If they would have came out publicly and said that, you know what, hey man, I want to fight Cody Rhodes again, and then that way you can actually have it at Crown Jewel where it's Cody and Drew McIntyre again or something like that, and then you have Drew McIntyre finally take the belt, it would actually work out that way. I don't care that Cody Rhodes is fighting Seth Rollins for absolutely nothing but a Crown Jewel ring at Crown Jewel. It doesn't matter. If top stars can speak out and actually try and make changes to storylines and call out the garbage performance from Triple H as the head of creative, we can actually get necessary changes. Drew and Cody had an amazing idea for Crown Jewel, and Triple H came in there and overrode it, and so did the creative team. Because the creative team obviously follows the lead of Triple Fraud, you know what I'm saying, or in some cases, Triple Fraud follows a bad idea from someone in the creative team, or vice versa. It's the same thing. All I know is that this is a blessing in disguise. John Cena, you know, calling this out is probably good, because this means that the rest of this heel turn, or this retirement tour, will actually be booked by John Cena, and he'll actually be coming up with ideas that the fans want and that he wants to make his final run special. And that, my friends, is what we always wanted it to be. Like John Cena has been doing for decades, you know what I'm saying? The many sacrifices he's had to make for this company and for fans and all this other stuff, the make-a-wishes he's had to do. You know what I'm saying? Being the 17-time world champion, the most world championships of anybody in WWE history. This is what we need. We need John Cena to have an exciting and engaging and a very memorable ending to this retirement tour, because the retirement tour itself has already been bad. So there's nothing you could do to change the past now. You now have to figure out a way to have John Cena close out the last 2 months of this year, you know what I'm saying, last 2.5 months of this retirement tour, and make it feel special, make it feel epic, and make it feel awesome and deserving of someone like a GOAT like John Cena having his final run in the WWE. And if this is the first step to doing that, I think that this is awesome. You know what I'm saying? I think this is amazing. And we can move on to War Games, and we can still have him get a alleged get back at Lesnar, and just have a team where it's the Vision, you know what I'm saying, with Drew McIntyre and Lesnar versus Cena, Roman, Codarius, Orton, and maybe Punk or something like that. And Cena pins Lesnar to get the W for the faces at Survivor Series War Games. That would be pretty awesome, and that would actually be a way where you can actually have a super, you know, packed War Games match. I've already explained that the War Games match would make no sense, because obviously Roman has beaten Brock Lesnar multiple times. Cody beat Lesnar multiple times. He's beaten Rollins 3+ times. There's no point of really doing this if we're being honest. It's just there to put star power in a match and make it happen at Survivor Series War Games. The match would make no sense. It doesn't really have a story to it, because Cena and Roman are not even going to be there that much, you know what I'm saying, in order to actually develop the story. So I just don't know what to say about this, man. It would not be something that I'd be interested in seeing the build for, but the actual match itself would be pretty exciting with all those big names inside of the show. In this whole situation, even with the ESPN review of WrestlePalooza, you know what I'm saying, WrestlePalooza, of garbage at this point, right? This actually shows you that the fans' voices do matter to an extent. Obviously, the fans can, I mean, I guess they can mandatory dictate storylines like they did with Codarius Rodington beating Roman at Mania 40, obviously. But the point is that the fans' voices matter, okay? They do matter. All of the online comments, I mean, you see this. I mean, heck, Rhea Ripley, you know what I'm saying? Rihanna Ripley is freaking always saying something on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, that we have to cover. So, you know, it just is what it is. A lot of the younger generation now, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm only 20 years old, obviously, right? But these wrestlers who are like in their late 20s, early 30s, and even the like older wrestlers, they're going to monitor and see what you're saying online. A lot of them have podcasts, you know what I'm saying? They're on YouTube, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram, whatever. We all see the stuff that matters. All the news and the reports, we know what the fans' feelings are towards certain things that are taking place. And if people, the wrestlers, the creative team, actually see enough of stuff from fans, and now they're seeing it from their own company that's broadcasting their shows, they are going to have to make changes. You know what I'm saying? That's the ultimate goal. So don't ever believe that your voice doesn't matter, man. They see this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your boy C-Jax is letting you know right now. Do not be surprised if you see, you know, actual, what's it called? You know what I'm saying? Fans or you know, not fans, sorry, like wrestlers and people who work for WWE actually responding to fans more and more often as we go forward, because they have to see the feedback. You can't just ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. So you know, just get ready, man. Get ready, bro. I'm just going to say that. If the fans keep speaking their voice and wrestlers actually speak up when they're unhappy about the content they're getting, they can actually make some changes. And by they, I mean Triple H, because at the end of the day, you know, they're not going to fire like Rhea Ripley or Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns or Rollins or McIntyre. They're not going to fire any of these people if they actually speak out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to fire one of your top faces in Cody Rhodes. If Rhea Ripley speaks out, you're not going to fire the biggest women's wrestler on the planet right now. Like, you're not doing that. So just stop. However, all I can say is that ESPN now owning the WWE PLEs is actually a blessing in disguise. Because if they're going to continue to objectively critique and review these WWE shows, it's probably for the better. Because every single show that gets reviewed bad, it may finally motivate the creative team and triple fraud to actually make a good show. But at the end of the day, all that matters to me at this current moment with this product, because we know the product sucks and it's not going to change until Triple H makes a decision to actually improve things, and he's probably not going to. But all I can say is this. I want John Cena's the ending of his retirement tour to be absolutely phenomenal. And I want it to be deserving of everything that he has given to this industry and to us as fans of the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That is what I want, and I hope that is what we are on the road to getting now that John Cena has officially, you know, basically politicked his way into getting him versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. I hope that this is the beginning of a last 5 dates of absolute amazing, awesome John Cena moments and content that we will remember for many, many years to come. Thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal day. Let me know what you think of John Cena's, you know what I'm saying, his situation right now where he basically called out Triple H and forced him to do the match that fans want, obviously. And as always, I thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal day yet again. Peace out and one love.